Okay, so for this recipe, we're going to use 1 cup of butter, 1 lemon, this is about 1.5 cups of dried cherries, 4 eggs at room temperature, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of milk, baking powder, vanilla, and 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Okay, so we're just going to begin by creaming the butter. I'm just adding both sticks of butter into your bowl here, and you do want to let this come to room temperature before you attempt to do this, or else it just won't work. So let it sit out for about at least an hour, and same thing with the eggs and the milk. I'm gonna go for, I don't know, about 30 seconds, 45 seconds with just the butter in here. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in my entire cup of sugar. Just cream this together. Eggs, one at a time. One teaspoon vanilla. Then I'm also going to go ahead and just zest the lemon. So this is just a little hand grater, and you just want to run it along the outside of the lemon until the yellow part of the lemon comes off, just till you get down to the white part. This is where we're going to get all of our lemon flavor from. Just keep kind of turning it, running it along the grater until you get it all off of there. That looks pretty good. Make sure that you just get all that extra zest off the back. I'm also going to juice the lemon. I'm going to use half of it and put half of it inside here. Just going to put it into this bowl real quick. Okay, and then I'm going to add that right in too. Mix this up one more time. And I'm just adding in 1/2 of a teaspoon of this baking powder right on top of my flour. And I'm gonna sift it right into here. So I'm just gonna do about like that much to start. All nice and sifted. Let's push those little bits through. Okay. And I'm gonna mix it up again. And I'm just gonna put the other rest of it in there. Push it through. Make sure you get everything in there. I'm gonna do the rest of this spatula here. So just scrape down the bowl. Make sure you get everything in there. Just gonna kind of fold it in itself just a couple of times real quick. It's actually fine. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the dried cherries. So just make sure they're not sticking together too bad. I'll just fold those on in. Don't over mix it, don't mix it too much, just enough until they're all combined. Alright, and I'm gonna use my brownie pan. I just like the way it turns out. But if you guys want to use like a loaf pan or even a bundt cake pan, that would be totally fine. So I'm just going to spray it with a little bit of spray there. Make sure you guys preheat your oven before you start. Just scrape it all out of there too. Get in there, just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Alright. Okay, and then I'm just going to get the rest of the juice out of this side of the lemon real quick. And then I'm going to use this to make my glaze. So I like to just stick a fork in there and just kind of move it around. It really helps to get the most juice out of there. That should be enough. Get your seeds out. Alright, and I'm going to add about 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. And I really like to do this like right when I put the cake in, so that this is going to be the glaze, so that it has time to sort of like form together, because you'll see here in a sec. I'm just going to add this all in. I think that'll be enough. It'll have like little white specks in it until it kind of sits and gets well combined together. So there it is. It's a little bit thick, but I think it's going to be okay. So I have this tiny bit of cherry flavoring left over, so I'm gonna add this into my glaze. And this is optional. You guys don't have to do this part if you don't have this, but I just have it available, so I just want to put it in there and see how it tastes. So I'm just gonna put in, and this is very strong tasting, so even though there's only a little bit, I'm actually only gonna use probably, let's say about 3 or 4 drops in there. Just mix that up, give it a pretty little pink color. And if this is too thick when it comes time to put it on your cake, just throw in a couple drops of milk or a little bit of water, and it should, and I mean a little bit, like a drop, a couple drops. It should get nice and thinned out for you. And this really smells good now. It has a very lemony and cherry smell to it. So there it is. I'll put that on as soon as the cake is done. Okay, so I just added a teeny tiny little bit of water, like literally a teaspoon, and that made it, it's the texture that I want right there. You guys can see that. It's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna pour my glaze. And just try to be quick and get in there and coat it all over the top nice and evenly. And you want to let this cool down a little bit. You don't want this to be too hot when you do this part. Get all of it out, every last little piece. All right, and then in about probably 30-40 minutes we'll be ready to cut. Looks amazing. Yummy.